Yo, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Ordinary E. I'm an ordinary guy and we're doing ordinary PC stuff. If ordinary people can do it, I don't know what ordinary, the definition of ordinary is. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen so you can see. But yeah, if you saw in the last video, it's a continuation of that. We've got a big haul from Hypochondriac. Hope I said it right this time. Again, a big thank you out to Hypochondriac, and I did locate the cable that he did give me. So this was the cable. Now what this does, well, it wasn't, yeah, so it gave me the whole cable, but it also, the main thing was this adapter connector, I believe, because I have an old system. So this connector here is going to, this kind of connection, can't remember the name of it, but if I find out, I'll put it up on the screen. And then it's going to allow you to connect the VGA to the monitor. And what that is required for was, remember the very first graphics card that we received? It's a Sapphire HD 2600 XT ATI Radeon, so it's by Radeon. And yeah, we've never managed to connect this up yet, but it had these two connectors which are not HDMI, obviously, so it's a very old system. It's another different connector, the same as that, but this adapter is then going to be able to let me connect this. Now I'm not sure which one will be the best one, but we'll always go left first. That's what we'll do. So that's going to allow me to connect that, and then it's going to allow me to connect that to the monitor, which is, if you're using a graphics card, you have to swap from your motherboard connection to the monitor to the graphics card connection to the monitor in order for the graphics card to be enabled. But before we get into that, because that might be a whole different video, and obviously that's just the cable, quite a big hefty cable. Might go through the bag of cables that he gave me and see if we've got something else for that, but that could be a whole different video. What I want to tackle at the moment, I've done as I've promised, I've done a spreadsheet of all the components that I have in the system. Now currently at the moment I only have one fan running in the system. Now it's not causing a problem. I have the CPU fan, sorry, two fans technically. I have the CPU fan, which is cooling the CPU, so that's fine. That comes off the CPU header on the motherboard, but there's only one other connection for another fan on the motherboard. So that's running, and it's taking out the air, so I've got no intake at the moment. I'd like to put more fans in. It's not affecting the system. It's how it was running originally. The temperatures are about 35 degrees on the CPU, and that's all that's in there, so I don't have to worry about anything. But if I'm going to put a graphics card in there that does have a fan on it, you can see here, don't know if this graphics card works, but it does have a fan, so that'd be another fan in here, but that's to cool the GPU itself, the GPU chip, which is under here. I've cleaned this up, so that's ready to go. But ideally I want to get more fans going. So if you remember in the last video, we collected a load of stuff, and I got this box here, and that's a couple of bits that I want to keep and possibly use. So within there, yeah, again there was this, that's an SSD card, so that I can put the operating system on here. I don't know if 4 gigabytes is going to be enough though. Hold on a minute, probably not, is it? Not sure. But if I get the operating system on that, and then the other storage will be free for anything else. Anyway, we've got the battery tester. So what I'm going to do here today in this video, first of all, before we get into the graphics card, and we may not get into graphics cards in this video, maybe we'll get into it in the next video, but we did have a battery tester here, so we're going to pull out a little rig. We're going to make another makeshift rig on the side so we can test stuff. So I'm going to see if I can use power supply, this battery. It's called a power supply tester. So we're going to see how this works. And so we're testing the 24 pin and 20 pin supplies, blah 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 blah. So yeah, let's see if we can test the batteries. Also in here we did have some fan header connectors, and I believe that might be one, although that's missing some cables. I believe there's usually 4 cables on that kind of connector, right? But not sure, so we'll see if that helps us get another fan on the system. We found some of these HDDs, sliders, so that helps you fix, because at the moment my my hard drive is just sitting on the bay, so it's not actually installed correctly. So we'll just pull out the connectors in here. Oh, it does take 2 wires. Okay, so we'll pull out all the connectors and we'll pull out some fans. Did I say that was a connector? It's got a 4-pin connector. Right, so let's have a look at a fan. So a fan, this fan here has that kind of connection, which has 4 pins. So I can't put that onto that. And this has the same. I'm assuming the power supply has the connection for those, which will let a fan go again. And the only other issue is these fans are pretty small, aren't they? They're not the 120, are they? They're something else. Right. Well, we've got 5 fans there. That's even smaller. Okay. Let's see if there's any other connectors. What was that again? Oh, this was going to control something to do with. Oh, this was going to control the fan. Okay. I think we can put this on to control the fan speed, because once you put a fan that's not connected to the motherboard and off the power supply, you're not going to be able to control it. So maybe that is going to help with that. This is just a USB. And what we might also do is connect up this 5-port splitter for the internet, so I can have more internet connections. That would be great. So we can use that. I believe that's not the power supply for it, is it? It might be. Yeah, that's the power supply for it. What else do we have? Then we have these stackable gizmos. Now, do those pins take those pins? No, those pins take those pins though. Okay, so that pin takes that pin, and then that gives me another 3-pin header, which I assume if I took a fan now that might be a daisy chain fan, but yeah, if I took this fan, and that's only got 2 slots. Interesting. So can't see what I'm doing, but I'm trying to connect this into there. That doesn't work. This does. So if I did that, so that's connected. Then that could be connected to power. That could be connected to the motherboard. And then I've got another connection here which might connect somewhere onto another fan. No, it connects into here. Okay, so this fan would be able to be controlled like that with this. So that can control the yellow fan, which has that thing coming off of it, which has the connector coming off of it, but then also the connector for the power, and then also another splitter there, or for the motherboard, and then it has more power for possibly more fans, right? So then I have, so if I took another fan, for instance this one, and I put this one on, then in theory they both will spin, right? So now I have 2 fans connected with a controller that will be powered off the power supply, or I could put it to the motherboard, it looks like, because that's a 4-pin connector there. Right, interesting. So we'll go with that. We'll keep these fans out. We'll keep these connectors out. And I think that's all we can use for the fans that I salvaged that I saw was available. So all of this can go back in a minute. This. We won't do these yet. We won't do that yet. We'll keep that out. We'll keep this out. I'll move this to the side. Now what I want to do is get a power supply up here. So we're going to set up a little rig. Just before I do that, I do have other fans. Alright guys, so just to jump ahead there quick. I do have other fans, but they all seem to be the smaller size. I've got some of these. Let's get the tape out. This is a 60mm fan. I have a load of 60mm fans which I don't want to use. I have 80mm fans, and these ones are 80mm as well. So I don't have any 120s, but there is one in the case. So there's 120 there, and then I've got this big fat boy here, which probably comes out like that. And that is going to be a 90-ish mil fan. So I don't have 120, which is what I want. Or do I? Bear with me. Okay, so I just checked the PC, and there's two fans in the front, not spinning, not connected. Those are the ones, so there are 120s in there. So I've already put them in. I'm going to need to take them out of there, but let's test the theory. So I don't want any of these. These are too small and probably be more noisy. Put these back. Alright, so what we're left with, from what I can gather, is these gizmos here. Right? And somehow I've got to connect those fans in the case, and we'll take a look at those in a minute, because I'm going to have to disconnect everything, bring the PC over here so I can film it. Let's put these ones away. Oh yes, this is the gold. This is the gold power supply. Don't know. We want to use this one. So this is an ATX 12 volt P4 power supply. It's a 550 watt. If you remember in the last video, I mean, we've got other power supplies from the teardowns of the other computers, but let's have a look at these ones. Not sure what size those other ones are. That's got a big fan in it, but anyway. Alright, so this is a 480 watt. What we'll do is we'll test them both just to make sure they're working. So put this down a bit. Alright, let's connect up a plug. The fan's pretty clean in there, and in that one as well, so not too bad. This is where things can get a bit dodgy. So I'm just going to plug this in. Okay guys, so we've got a power cable here. I've managed to thread through. Let's test out the gold one, right? Let's go with the gold one first. That's what everyone wants to see. So I wonder if I need to be grounded at all for this. So you can get yourself a grounding cable that can attach to you, and then you can attach that to something metallic. So for instance, I can just go on the other power supply. That should be okay. I don't know. There's some wood here. If I'm in trouble, then call somebody. Right. let us see what we've got here. So we have, this is pretty similar to the power supply we have in there, because we have a 24 pin, we have a 6 pin, and then we have these connectors, which is what I'm hoping to connect the fans to. Actually, these connectors might be different, but these connectors, I'm hoping I can connect to the fan. Yeah, I think the majority of the, so we may have, I may have to just check the power supply that's in there, because I may have a way of connecting other fans to it. Okay, alright, so here's the power supply. How am I going to open this? Let's test this out. So we're going to open this. This does have a 4-pin connector, so I might be able to put a fan on here. So let's see how this works. So I'm just going to open this. Looks like it's never been opened, so appreciate that again. Oh no, there's tape on it, so I assume it has been opened. Took good care of his stuff, huh? Go. Right, so this is just that. There's a few connections here and a few connections there. Interesting, so we'll put that down there. We'll connect the power supply on onto the, we'll connect up the power supply. There we go, has a little electrical connection. Make sure nothing touches, and we're going to turn it on. And it's done nothing, so okay. Not sure if it's meant to. Now we're going to put this 24 pin into here. Oh, it's connected. Well, would you look at that? And it's working. So we've got some numbers going on here. It's beeping at me. I don't know what that means. HH 00. Easy to read power supply. Okay. What does HH mean? And he's beeping a good sound. Alright, so we're going to take this power tester here. This is what it looks like. It doesn't have any instructions. I did have a look on the Google just to see how to work it. So apparently I plug this 24 pin into here. Like so, and I power it on. Alright, now I don't know if you can see the numbers there, but what it's doing is it's flashing, and I can't even see it. So 5 volt it says HH, 12 volt is saying 13.4, the 3.5 volt is saying 3.5, the 12 volt minus 12 volt is saying, so that's a plus volt, so the minus volt is saying 11.8, and then you've got 12 volt and 5 volt SB and V2 down the bottom, they're flashing, and a PG of 360 milliseconds. Alright, so now all these beeping, so the 12 volt is overpowered at the moment, so that's beeping. The 5 volt has got a H, so no reading, and these 12 volts down the bottom is saying no readings, and that's why they're beeping. So what we need to do then is plug another one in on the other side, which is this. I think this is the 5 volt, so we're going to plug the 5 volt into the 6 pin. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, so now everything's stopped beeping. So you see, you can't see the screen, but maybe I could show you upside down if possible. No, you're not going to be able to see it. But now everything's stopped beeping, so that's a good sign. That means we are getting the correct voltages. So we've got 5.3, 11.8, 3.4, 11.8, 11.8, 5.2, 360 PG. So that's a good sign. So this power supply is good, is what this is telling me. We can also check the 4-pin, which is the CPU. We can plug that in, see if that changes any voltages. It hasn't. We can also plug in, we can test the other connectors. So this can go in. Let's do it from the end. So this is the last one, so I'll plug that in. And then what that does is that lights up on the side there. So I only have red and yellow. Black is power or neutral. No, power. So positive, negative, I don't know. Anyway, what I do know is that I've only got a red and a yellow. You could have a orange, which would be the 3 volt, but I guess the red is going to be the 12 volt, and the 5 is the yellow cable, possibly. So that's another good sign. So they're all lit up, and then we can also check this. I think this is SATA connection power, and we can plug that into the top. And possibly maybe take out the bottom, and that's still got the 12 volt and the 5 volt. So if I take that out, it comes off. I'll put that in, it goes on. So everything's working fine on this power supply. So let's just check this one as well. We'll take the end, plug that in. Yep, 5 and 12 light up. There's also a header over here that we can test, so we can test that as well. Plug that in, a 4-pin header, and again 12 and 5 light up. So this power supply is good, so we can use this, and this is the bigger one. So this is the 550, I believe. So we can turn this off now. And we can disconnect everything, and we can test the other power supply. So that's a good little gizmo. Thank you very much for that. So we know that power supply is good. Now let's test this power supply. Well, we say good, we know it's as good as whatever this thing is telling us, right? We'll make sure that's off. Plug that in. Let's grab the 24-pin first. So this way around. Make sure it's all the way in. And we've also got this little one at the side. So that's a 20 plus a 4. Make sure that's all the way in. Alright, let's turn that on. Oh, that's got a green LED. So this one has a 370 PG, 11 volts, 3.4. Again, it's the same beeping, so I assume we've got to plug in some more cables. I've only got a 4-pin here, so I don't have a. So this one would be no good for graphics card, maybe. What connection does a graphics card take? I'm not sure that graphics card actually needs a power supply. But anyway, we'll take this one and we'll put it in. So, any one of these. 5.7. Now I don't have any other. So this one doesn't have a 6-pin power supply, which I assume is the 5 volts. Which is strange, right? And then it only has SATA connectors. It does have a fan connector, or what I call a fan connector, a 4-pin connector. Let's plug that in. Oh, that's shorted it out. That has shorted it out. I think we may have just blown it up. done. Try that again. Yeah, it looks like I thought I was going to kill somebody, but no, it looks like that just came out, so that was a bit dodgy. Alright, what we're doing, we were testing the fan. Well, it happened when I put this fan in, right? So let's put the fan in again and see what happens. No, we're good, we're good. And then let's put this powers the CPU, so we'll put that in. Does it matter which one? Oh no, so when I put that in, it doesn't like it. Does not like it. So it doesn't like it when I have the fan connected. Take that back out. Yeah, this one may be dodgy. This one may be dodgy. I don't like the look. I don't like the sound. I don't like how this one's performing. So you can take these out. Let's turn that off again. Looks like the 4 pin will go in first anyway. And then we'll slide this one over the top of it. Yeah, so it's happy. It's happy with that. It's not happy with this fan connector, this 4 pin fan connector. It's happy with the CPU connection in, but the PG now has flown up to 990, so that's not a good sign, and it's bleeping at me. It's all bleeping at me. Okay, so there's some other things here called 6P and 4P and then 8P altogether, so maybe it's just a question of putting it in the right holes over here. That looks like it's the right hole. It's got a 990 PG, which is power delivery, I believe, or power good, I don't know. But yeah, something's not right because it's still beeping at me. What happens now if I put this fan or 4 pin connector in? Will it turn off again? Oh no, we're good, we're good, we're good. Okay, so it's happy now. Now I'm going to put a SATA connector on. You can still see what I'm doing. Well, no, the fan is working. I think I just put it in upside down. $12 and 5 volt. So the only issue here with this one is this PG 990 MS. I don't know if that's a problem or not. Is that a problem or not? You guys tell me. But because this one has a beeping sound, everything else seems fine. The volts are 12. The 12 will get to 12.2. 3 is 3.3. This is like bang on. This is everything is like super good. So let's just test one more connector down the bottom, and that gives you 12 and 5. So that's good. The top gave me 12 and 5. The fan gave me 12 and 5. So just that PG, not quite confident that that's supposed to be beeping. If you know, let me know. So we won't use this for the test. We'll use the gold one, which I'm super happy about actually. But the 990 delivery good system. What was that? Let's have a look. Okay, so I just learned what PG is. So PG is the value of power, how long it takes for the power supply to supply the power. So when you turn this on, oh, now we're good. We are good. So 380, which is what this one was as well. Yeah, this power supply is good. I don't know why it jumped to 990, but because of that, I might not use this power supply. Uh, 12.5, so everything seems normal now, so I don't know why that was punching out 990, but if it's 990, that obviously means it takes 990 milliseconds to deliver the power at its full capacity, which is what the gold one was as well. And then all the other voltages are, you know, it says 5.2, 12.2, so it's delivering bang on what it should be. So this is pretty good power supply, but because of that 990, I'm a bit worried. So we can use it. We'll keep with this one. So let's turn that off. Let's take out all of our bits. Right. So in order for this to spin, do I need everything connected? Here goes the fans. Okay, so nothing happens when I do that. So how do I connect the fan up? Let's have a look. Let's grab a fan. I'll do it in front of you so you can see. Let's grab a connector. Let's put a connector in there. Turn it on. It's not going to do anything. So I possibly have to bypass the power with the tester. This may work out. Huh. So we may have needed this tester after all. Let's turn it off again just in case. Oh yeah. So I've turned it on. The fan is spinning. All right. The fan is spinning, and it's to stop the beeping. I had it in this one, right? Yeah. Now it says 380 because I've got a fan on there, I guess. All right. So the fan works there. Now let's test out what happens when I put one of these on. And then another fan, which is this one, quickly. Alright, and that one spins up, that one's louder. And what happens to the power? Don't want those to go in there. Power stays good. Alright, so we've got two fans spinning off the power supply, and then I can jump and jump and jump. So it's going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and connect up the other two fans using all these gizmos. So let's get the machine out. Sorry, before we get the machine, we didn't test this this knobby thing that would, I assume, will control the fans. So let's just quickly test that. So again, we're going to need to plug this into here. Appreciate this little gizmo. I recommend getting one of these if you understand what all of these things mean. It didn't take me too long to try and figure that out. So if I can do it, obviously you can do it. I have no background experience in any of PC building, so yeah, be confident, you can do it, because I just learnt it. I mean, I know what volts are and things like that, right? So I assume you do. Okay, so we know that this one works in this one, which is good. Like that, and then hopefully turn that on. And everything is good. Right, so what we want to do is try and test this gizmo here now as well, right? So let's take off, let's keep the two fans on there. Let's use the header, the 5-volt header. Got to remember, I think. Okay, so that's not working. Why is it not working? Maybe because this is turned off. No, it's not doing anything. So, do we need more power? Let's take this off first. Let's use the actual connector, which is this. Does it matter which way it goes? It does. It goes this way around. Alright, the fans are on. You can see that? You can see them spinning, right? I'll show you. This one's blowing up. This one's more, the yellow one's more powerful. You get a piece of paper. Oh, so you can see they're spinning. They're not spinning, they don't blow. This is sucking more. Oh, this is sucking, okay, so this will be blowing. Right? Oh, but then now it's not being able to get there. There you go. There you go. You see the paper bending, the actual fan moving. So the yellow one seems more powerful. Now let's see what happens when we turn this. Yeah, slowed it right down. Alright, very good. So we can control it. So if we can't connect to the motherboard, we can use this gizmo here to control it. We may even have an RGB light fan. No, I don't want that anyway. It's too small. So the gizmo works. Everything works. So thank you, Hypochondriac. That's the result. We're going to try and put it into the machine. Put this practice setup now into the machine. Turn it off. Take out the power. Right, I'm going to clean up, get the machine over here. I'll see you in a sec. Thought I'd just show you guys, I'm at the machine and I do have some tools I downloaded thanks to J2Sense, a great guy. You know him. If you don't, I'll one day leave a link if I remember to do it. But I do have this HD monitor. I just wanted to show you the temperatures they're running at the moment. This PC's been on this entire time. Obviously it's not under load. And so the temperatures here, and if I just try and, I know it's not going to be great, but you can see that they're not high anyway. They're 30, 28, 27, so cores 1, 2, 3, package 28. I think there's 4 cores here. There's the clock speeds there at 3.3. No, they're not stable. Sometimes they jump to 1.5. I don't know why that is, but I would like them to be stable. I don't know how to do that. Airflow 23, temperatures 28. So I believe it is 25, 43, 28. So I believe the temperature is right about here. It's this one where it says temperature. Package 29, core 27, core 30, core 2, 30, core 3. So it's all about 30 degrees. So I'm not sure putting any more fans on the go is gonna help, but for future, and then it says the max is 34, 33, 34, 31, 35. So we'll put some more fans in and we'll see if this changes at all. And then we'll run a benchmark. How about that? My first ever benchmark. Alright guys, so we've got the PC over here now. Just going to lay it down. And you're going to see from the back, I actually didn't have the back fan connected, so I wasn't pulling air out. I had one of the front fans connected, just pulling air through. I'm not sure this is a great design, but it only pulls it through the side, on each side. I'm not sure that's enough, but I only had one fan doing that. But as I said, this is an old machine, and the temperatures I'm getting, you know, are not necessary for the equipment, the components I have, because I have an old i5-2320 CPU and no graphics card, and that's the only thing generating heat. So there was nothing. So I'm only blowing cool air in so that the cool air can get into the CPU and then blow it on the CPU, and then the heat goes wherever it likes. And there's so much room in here. So this power supply actually has a pass-through fan, so it comes, so the fresh air would have come in and then blows out the back, instead of the other fans which I just showed you. The other power supplies where the fan is on the bottom or the top, but usually you put it at the bottom. And then of course I have this padding on the front, so this is like a noise dampener, so it's very, very, very quiet. I can't hear it at all. So yeah, so here's the inside of the PC once again. Now, where is the fan? How did I do it? So I have the powers there, I have the USB here, I have the CPU fan here, and I have the front fan at the top there. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and find a way to connect this back fan that's on the side there, because that's not connected at the moment, and then I'll show you the two front fans. They're sitting in there. I don't think you can see them. Oh wait, there's more doors. You've got a door and then another door, and you can see already that bottom fan, that's the one that was working, that's got a load of dust on it, and then the top fan, which is not working, doesn't have dust on it. That's interesting, isn't it? So it is pulling in a good amount of stuff through there, so we're going to have to clean that out first as well. Actually, let me clean that first and then I'll get back to it. So this is a bit of a pain in the ass. I'm trying to take that filter out, but the filter is connected to the fan, and therefore you have to disconnect the fan completely to get it out. So that's not great. That's not a great thing for me. So I'm just going to take off the back panel, which I'd hate doing because of the cable. The cable management is tough on this case as well, especially with the power supply I have. So we're going to do that in order to get where I routed the fan. So not happy about that. Things are falling out. I don't know what they are. Alright, so in order to get this off, I'm going to put some pressure on it. Helps if I take off all the screws. Oh, that's much easier. Okay. So yeah, I routed the front fan all the way through the back like that, and now I've got it, and then now I can take the fan out to give it a clean, which is a pain in the arse, if I do say so myself. But in order to keep the cables where they are, for now, I'm just going to put that in there, and I'm going to put this back on so that they don't move, because they're in the perfect position. Don't want them to move. Okay, so now I should be able to get to the fans. So that's the dirt of about 6 months. Not too bad, but I'll give it a good rinse. The fan itself, yeah, it's got dirt on it, so let's clean that up. Alright guys, so fan's nice and clean, so that's didn't have much on it, but while we're there we might as well do it, and all of that dirt's now come off of that quite easily. It was clean dust, if you can have clean dust, and so it was doing its job obviously, but eventually this was all clogged up, so this was not going to be pulling any more clean air, right? And there's only one fan working, so basically we had no fans. Right, and then as you can see, the other fan is completely clean. I don't know if you can see that, but that one has got no dust. So interesting how one was working, one wasn't. You can see the difference. Now what we're going to do is figure out. There's that hard drive, as I said, just sitting there. Need to fix that there. But now we need to figure out how we're going to get 3 fans working at least in this computer. Right, so we have the gizmos to do that, I believe. So we have this kind of thing here. So if I plug one of these into the 4-pin, that's going to give me that. And then what does that do for me? Does that allow me to plug? That only allows me to plug one. So do I want to plug? This is not really working out, is it? So what do I have? I have this, and then I assume this one has one as well. Yep. So I need to plug 3 into one header. How do I do that? With what I have. Okay, we're not going to be able to do it. I'm going to tell you the reason why. Tell you the reason why. So all of these have a 4-pin, 4-pin, and a 4-pin. And what I want to do so I can connect this up. Well, can connect that up. So I have these, but these don't help me at all. So if I put that in, no, they're not going to help me. Why? Because these fans have a power connector on them, right? These fans already have the 4-pin connectors. And this fan has the both. That's a 2 and a 1. This is a conundrum, so we're not going to be able to use this, I don't think. No, so we can't use that to control it. So the power supply is going to go at full speed. Right, now we do have loads of these connectors here. What does this do? Let's see. What can I do with that? I can plug the back fin into the motherboard. Right, that deals with that. So the back fan will work. I'm not happy about all this cable showing, so let's try and figure that out a bit better. Looks like we are going to have to disturb the cable management. Because I do need some power supply from these things, right? Okay, so want this fan cable to come out and back in. There's no way for it to come out of. Okay. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to try and hide it as best we can down the back of the motherboard. Something like that. So you can't see that, right? Where are you? So you can see what I did there. You can see that little bit there, but then it comes across there and comes up top. So that's fine. I'm going to have to live with that. Now, for these fans, for this fan and this fan, so that's going to be on as well. I have two connectors. Now I may just have to use two of these. No wait, I can use this. And that's going to give me two connectors. Is it? It's going to give me a 3. No, it's not. No, it's not. What the hell? I need pins. I need ones with pins. Okay, here's one. And here's 2. Okay, so I have 2. So it looks like I've got to plug this one into that one. This may work. Alright, so this one. Why is that stiff? Put it the wrong way. No, there's only one way. So that into that, and then, oh, that's a 3-pin. That's a 3-pin. Okay, so then that can connect together into that, so. And then this one is a 3-pin, but will fit in there. Oh, that's a 3-pin as well. So that can connect to that. Then all we need is a power supply connection, right? Okay, I think we've sussed it. Wait, so how do I then get this on there, which is a 2-pin connector? In order for that to work, I'd have to connect this fan up somehow, which means I need another connector. Right? Another connector somehow, not this. Not this. I thought I had more of those. Wait, what's this one? Aha. Which means I need another one of those, which will then give me one of these, which is a 4. Is a 4 which doesn't plug into anything, which would then plug into the motherboard. So that's the motherboard connector. Okay, so I can't adjust the. That's a shame. I thought I had more of these plugs connected up, but I don't seem to have them. Alright, so that's the configuration. That connects 2 fans together, and it's going to be powered on the power supply. And unfortunately, I won't have a way of controlling the fans, so they're going to be full speed, I guess. They may be controlled via the power supply, I'm not sure. Let's see what that looks like once I power it on. Should we just connect it here and power it on? I think so. Let's get a power connection for this then. It's a bit dodgy, but so what we're going to need is a power connection that looks like none of those. So it's this one here. Oh, there's other USB ones. There's USBs. Oh. So for now, I'm just going to bring that through. So you can see what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get this fan. That fan's already in there. I'm going to plug this up. I do have. So I've got one fan connected, two fans connected, and then I've got a 3-pin here. What can that take? Can that take this? No. The only way I might be able to do this is if I somehow solder disconnect this and solder it on to there. That might work. I don't know what colour's going to go on what though. That's a red and a black, and this is red and a red. So superb. So what we might do is take, for some reason I've got this connector here, but this is a yellow and a black. I might be able to solder it onto there, I don't know. We won't do that for now, but for now what we're going to do is we're going to power this on and see if all the fans work. So we'll take our power supply. We need to bring the house down with us. We hear electricity, so let's put on our band. I've lost the band. I'm gonna have to do this with no band. Alright, you ready? Let's power issue on. And hopefully we get fan action. We've got nothing. Oh, there we go. Okay, we've got one fan there and it's red. We've got this fan going and that fan's going. So they're all going. And the CPU fan's going. So, and it's super quiet. Super quiet. Not a lot of air. So they don't blow very hard, do they, the fans? But they... Oh, fuck. So this one blows. So this one's sucking air. That's coming out the back. This one's going to suck air and come out the back. But it doesn't feel very much. I guess it does. And we're going to have two fans at the front. So these fans are going to be constant and the back one's going to be controlled by the motherboard. Is that what I want, or do I want the front controlled by the motherboard and the back constant? Decisions. You let me know in the comments below. Do I want the front always on and controlled by the power supply, and the back controlled by the CPU, or do I want the CPU, the back fan controlled by the power supply and always on, and the front fans controlled by the motherboard? Let me know what you think is best. I am going to go with front fans always on and the back is going to be controlled by the motherboard. But you know what, I kind of think logically it makes sense that the back is always sucking air out. Do you know what I mean? The back should always be on. So the front fans, yeah, I'm going to do that. So the front fans, I'm going to, and this is my logic, So the front fans are going to be controlled. Whenever it needs cooler air, it's going to come on and bring it in. The back is always going to be drawing out the hot air, always. So that's going to be connected by the power supply. So that's what we're going to do. Now how do we do that? How do we do that? Which means, maybe I'll hide that cable now back down behind here, but it means that this whole configuration, yeah, I've got that connector there. So that connector there, that doesn't have, should have, no, it doesn't have, should have 4-pin. So in order for me to do that I need a 4-pin, but I already have a 3-pin. Is a 3-pin good enough? Let's see if that will work. So I'm going to power this off. I'm going to take out a motherboard and I'm going to put in this one. So the header is going to, motherboard header is going to have 2 fans on it, but let's see if that will work a minute. Yeah, that works. Okay, so that's that. So the only thing I've got to figure out now is how to connect that to the power supply, which is easy enough. I think I've got to connect. It's got this. So this. This doesn't connect anywhere. This one. Aha. So this feels like it's going in. Yep, that's it. So now I need another one of these to connect to that. Oh, sorry, move. It's going to work. That means effective. No, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. So effectively, I don't need power going to this. Oh, no, I do. So why isn't the motherboard controlling that? It's because it's not hot enough. And will the fans come on if the motherboard gets hot? If the CPU gets hot? Is that when they come on? How do we know they're going to come on? Because effectively I only need this then as a connector, and I can do this all the way around the back, and yeah, that fan will come on. Why doesn't that fit in there, for Christ's sake? So that fan's going to be constantly on, and these are only going to come on when the CPU calls for it, or I can have it connected all the time. Yes. Alright, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and configure this. If anything, I'll connect it direct to power so they're always on, all of them. I want to see if this gets warm enough for these to come on, but they're not. But let me configure it, clean it up again, and we'll test the temperatures with them all working. So. Alright, so I figured I'd film me doing this then. So what we're going to be doing, because I know that this fan The back fan we want to run through the power supply, so that means I can hide this cable down the back now. I can get it through the hole, so yeah. Still not happy with how that's going to look, but okay. Right, which then gives me this coming out the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. That's going to give me some extra length to play with. So we're going to connect the back cable up. That's the back fan, and we're going to connect, and we're able to pull this back out, and we're going to be able to connect it together straight from there. Let's go with the longer one. Yeah, so we know we're connected at the back, and then that can be cable managed on that side, or this side, or up there. Because we do have to get the front fans on now, so let's get this fan back in. Still a bit wet, but it should be fine. So this, I want it to suck air. I want it to suck air in, so that means the back is where it comes out of. I want the cable over here, so that's the configuration. Yeah, I can work with that. There you go, that's clipped in. Right, I'm just going to reattach that. Or did I want it up there? Hold on a bit. May want it the other way. Oh, I can still put it that way. Okay. Sorry guys, the camera position's not great, but all I'm doing is putting this fan back as you saw me take it out. Let's see if I can get you into camera. Missed the hole. With everything, always screw in cross configuration, so top left or top right, and then bottom left, bottom right. That one doesn't want to find a thread, so good luck to you, mate. I suppose we should have done a benchmark with it tested without the fans, but yeah, too late now. We know it was 30 degrees, we're going to see if it's an improvement idle, and then we'll do a benchmark. we're not going to get time for the graphics card, so you're going to have to subscribe, guys, and you're going to have to watch out for that graphics card on the next episode. I appreciate if you would subscribe, it means a lot to me. I appreciate the subscribers I have at the moment, so you're awesome. Right, now, so we have one fan connected via this. How do we connect the other two? Here's one of them, and here's the other one. How do we do this again? I can't remember. Oh no, I've lost everything. Was it this? And this? Oh, this was going to go, hold on a minute, this was going to go to the CPU, wasn't it? Yes, so this is still in there. I need to bring, I've put this through the wrong hole. Great, I put that through the wrong hole. So now that has to come out. Okay. That goes through that one, and then that connects back. Very much. Now we need to bring I'm going to do this the other way, so we're going to bring this through here. Connect that onto the motherboard header, like so. Then hopefully we can connect the two fans. Now we can connect the two fans, right? Wasn't that the plan? I don't know. Yeah. So we've got one there and one there. So let's connect this one to this one. And this one to this one. All the fans are connected. Awesome. Okay, so super happy with that. So as you can see now, cable management is getting a bit crazy. Oh no, I put this through there. Oh no. God damn it. This was not, how did this go? Oh. Wait a second, I'm going to put that back. So I keep putting it through the case holes. And I'm trying to put it through the case. You know the case holes for the cover. I keep putting wires through those. That could end up as a disaster if you crush a cable in there. Alright, we're back. Okay, what else can we do? So we're just doing the fans today because that's taken eternity. So now we need to put all of this back in somehow. Any of these cables touching the motherboard for sure. So we're going to route that around the side up here. And then these ones can go up here on this side. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to tie up the fan cable in, and what I'm doing is I'm tucking it into the top. See the top there? So see that bit there? That can just be tucked in. See? Down the side, that can be tucked in. necessarily have to come out of the case, so this can go back through here. And then that can just come up and rest that way. And probably the same for this one, so let's do that for this one. Pop that back through those, back up, and then come up the top into the connection. And we can just do that. Now we may have to take this off again because I don't think all the fans are going to spin. And then we have all of these, which I don't remember how I had them. I'll just have them up here. Where have you gone, mate? Oh, you're the dish drive. Okay. Not the greatest cable management, but we will sort it out once we get better components, better power supplies that tell us we don't require all of these cables. So, yeah, I don't know what we do with all these, but I'm super grateful because it all cost me nothing when we get in places. Alright, so now those can just sit into there. We know where everything is. Is that going to shut? Let's see if we can make it shut. No, it's not going to shut. Oh no. Let's see how that looks on the other side. Yeah, not much difference. Everything's connected. This hard drive is not working, so there's no point in having this in there at the minute. Better take that out. This cable connects to my hard drive. Let's see if we've got something better to sort this out with. I do not, so let's not even bother. Let's not bother for now. Alright guys, there we have it. So we've connected some fans. Let's power it on and see what we get. The front fans are not spinning, they're connected via the motherboard, so I'm assuming that when the motherboard requires it, they're going to come on. If not, we're going to have to rejig all the wiring again. Alright guys, so I let it run for a little while, and the front fans are not coming on, so I'm not sure if that's because there's enough load. So what we're going to have to do is go back to the original configuration that we was going to do. So, okay, let's take it all apart again.
I'll do this real quick.
Yep. I'm going to accept the license. And multi-core, single core. So we're going to start with a single core and we'll let that run. So we'll just let that run and we'll come back to that. Alright guys, so you can see Cinebench is about halfway through on the one core and the temperatures are at 40. So 40 Celsius on the single core. So we'll note that down and just let this finish. It's taking a while. Alright guys, so we got the results in for the single core. We're going to run the multi-core now and just see what the difference will be, but we've got a score of 624 on the single core. Doesn't show up my score anymore, I don't think. No, so I thought it kept it, but never mind. But we're going to do the multi-core now, so we'll let that run and see what score we get with that. Also check the temperatures as well. That didn't start, did it? Oh, it's starting now. Okay, yeah, so we're going to let that run and then we'll see the results of that in a moment's time. Alright guys, we've got about 2 minutes left of the Cinebench testing and don't know what the score is going to be yet, but temperatures are about 55 to 56 C with the 3 fans, so I think that's acceptable. Let me know in the comments below if that's any good, and let's just wait for the score to come in 1.5 minutes. So it's got a timer up here and that tells you how long it's going to test for, and this is on its second cycle, so the single core only went through 1 cycle, but the multi-core is going through about 2 cycles at the minute. So yeah, we'll come back to this and tell you the score. Alright guys, so it's just finished. I don't know if you can see the score, but it is 2254, which puts us on 12th place on this ranking, but I don't think that's right or true. But anyway, so we got 2254 and temperatures hit 56°C, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the content, then hit the like button and hit the subscribe button to see the next part, so you're notified where we're going to tackle the graphics card, this Radeon Sapphire. And I also have other bits and pieces that I've got in, which are more graphics card, more RAM memory, and we're going to check all that out. We're going to do a test, we'll do more testing, and then hopefully we're going to start some gaming. So yeah, hit the subscribe button so you're notified, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, appreciate you. Ta-da.